Hello everybody!
Hi.
Okay, today I have a special guest here with me, Melissa. She's going to join us for this analysis series for today, Chuan Park analysis. So stay tuned because I think there will be a lot of laughter, and please pardon our hair and our makeup because we just came out from a storm. It's storming outside. Long Jian Feng basically. Okay, so without further ado, let's move on to Chuan Park. Okay, so now for Chuan Park, right? Chuan Park is actually developed by Kingsford. I think the last that they did is actually Normanton Park. So we will be using that as a comparison a lot for this analysis series. For preview date previously was 19 October, but we heard that it got pushed back already. Yeah, so we don't really know right now. But if you need any information, contact us and we'll keep you updated with the dates.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, so now let's dive into the project information.
So Chuan Park, there's 916 units, total 5 blocks, 22 stories and 19 stories, and 2 shops, 2 to 5 pedal lah.
Yes.
TOP around
2028.
Now
Later,
all the launches all around 2028.
2028. Yeah, but there's one recently that I did. I think it's Norwood. It's 2030. I hope I remember.
2030.
Been doing too many analysis recently.
Correct.
Until I go haywire.
Around there.
Around there. Okay, so later in the site map, we also point out, where are the 2 shops. Basically, they are at the quite of the entrance area, rather near the MRT area. Okay, so now let's look at the direction map itself. Okay, so Chuan Park is actually located right here. We are actually next to Lorong Chuan MRT. I'm very familiar with this area because I stay in D20, just next door only. So basically over here you can see, right, this is where Chuan Park is. If you cross the road on this side, right, you will actually reach New Tech Park, which we will show you later. On top of that, this whole cluster is actually the HDB cluster.
Correct.
Right, so if you are somebody that's staying in Chuan Park and you want to eat like local food, kopitiam food, there's actually a lot of option here. Then if you are facing the north side, that's where all the landed cluster, Serangoon landed is, so you actually get very good view.
Yeah.
We got premium facing and all right. We will dive into that later as well. So a bit more complicated and intense today, but it's interesting. Stay with us. Okay. So Lorong Chuan, we are actually one MRT stop to Bishan.
Yes.
Okay. So Bishan, you have 2 lines, red line and yellow line. Okay. And then after that, if you go one more stop, you reach Serangoon. You have yellow line and purple line. So technically speaking, you are connected quite well. Okay, most of the line, red, purple, and yellow. Actually, if you go to the red side, it's easily connectable to like the blue and the purple. Brown as well.
Correct.
Okay, so our closest shopping area will be the New Tech Park area lah, which is over here. Previously, long time ago, there's only a coffee bean over there.
But not bad, got fish and
got wine connection.
Sorry, got Luckin Coffee.
Yeah, got Luckin Coffee and all. So if you want to do big grocery, you can go there as well. Or if not, you can just go to Next as well. I think New Tech Park also got Fair Price. I think it should be Fair Price.
Yeah, there's a supermarket
lah. Okay, so can't remember which brand, but I do visit there quite often.
Okay, so Chuan Park, there is actually 5 primary schools that is within 1 kilometer with Kuo Chuan, St. Gabriel's, Yangzheng, CHIJ, Our Lady of Good Counsel, and Zhonghua. So a few of these schools are actually quite popular, right?
Yes, Kuo Chuan, my school. Okay, yeah, so Kuo Chuan Presbyterian, but I think for specific blocks lah. So the blocks are all indicated over here. You can screen grab and have a look. St. Gabriel Primary School is very, very nearby. And of course, I think a lot of people are looking at CHIJ as well.
Yep.
Okay, so next we will be looking at the site map of the view.
Just now you were saying the landed view, right? Not bad, that's
nice
one. Permanent unblocked view. I think people will appreciate that, to be honest.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I think for Chuan Park, in terms of view wise, we got 3 different kinds. One is landed, one is more towards a condo, Spring Bloom side, right? But if you buy a higher up one, is actually quite a far view lah. And then the other one, of course, you get a little bit of the school view, the JC view. So we will be talking a lot about views later on. Okay, so generally, of course, if you ask me between these 3, I would choose landed lah. Because not everywhere you get landed view.
Yeah, because landed is like it's permanently unblocked.
Yes, correct. Alright, so next we are talking about estimates. Okay, so again, all these are estimates. Okay, so basically, don't quote us. But okay, so basically, if you are going to Next, right, I just now when I was talking to her, I said, oh yeah, you can actually walk there. It's
actually,
about like
can walk, really can walk. Sheltered, right?
Sheltered. I think if you cut through the semi-sheltered, you need to cut through the HDB. Of course, the traffic light and all, I think it's not sheltered lah. Yeah. But almost fully sheltered actually. But then she was like, actually, you can take MRT one stop while you walk. Then I'm like, okay lah, that's true. I like exercising. Okay. So Thomson Plaza, we also quite near because you are very near to CTE, and then you connect down the closer to Lornie side. Then you just cut through. You go to Thomson area. It's about 9 minutes drive. Okay. New Tech Park is actually 2 minutes, but please, you walk also 2 minutes. Okay, so it's about
just walk. Car park, you exit, go into New Park 2 minutes.
Okay, that's true.
So please walk.
Ample car parking over there also. So Nanyang Junior College is just next door as well. So if you need more of this information, let us know. We will share with you. You want school, malls and all, you just let us know. Okay, so for this one,
Facing. So
correct.
just now you were saying you prefer landed facing, right?
Yes.
So where is the landed facing?
Okay, so the landed okay, so this area is actually the road lah. Okay, and then after that the landed is actually this side
top.
towards the north side. And then this side here is actually the Golden Hill, right? And this is actually quite an empty plot or something right now. Then New Tech Park is over here. So you can see actually this is the MRT station, no? And then there is also another, like this is the bus stop area lah.
This part is Spring Bloom lah.
Spring Bloom. The Spring Bloom is bottom over here.
This
So
part is NJC.
NJC over here. So then the side gate is actually over here. So which we'll explain later. But you can see that actually these 4 blocks, right? They all got exact north-south facing.
Which is nice.
The north is actually the blue part. The south is actually the south part. Do you know that the direction of the wind, right, is also north-south facing?
Oh, is it?
Yes, correct. So for my house, it's actually north facing. So usually from October until March is north side the wind.
Okay.
Yeah. Then after that, from April to about September is
So
from
you get
south side.
the opposite side.
Yeah, you get the flow the whole time. So a bit unfortunate for this one is actually southeast and northwest. But then at the end of the day, you got heat south and north. You also got the wind flow one. It's just a little bit more
Got
unique.
space lah, animation have wind one.
Correct. But I think this one maybe in terms of pricing might be slightly lower because they are also closer to school. You think?
Correct.
Yeah, so that's what I think also. But at the end of the day, we have to see what
The
is
actual
happening
day
on
pricing.
the actual day. Okay, so now
We have a superimposed site map on the Singapore map.
yes, so you are able to tell exactly where we are.
Yep, so that's the NJC like just now we mentioned,
Over
right?
here,
Yeah. Then the Spring Bloom, Golden Park,
Spring Bloom here, Golden Hill Park is
Golden
here.
Hill Park.
Correct.
Yeah, so on top is the
The
actually the
landed.
playground. The empty plot is the playground.
Yeah, but right now actually every time I drive past, I don't really notice what's there. Like nothing high that is blocking lah. Yeah. So then this is actually the Lorong Chuan boundary road.
So this is why we say that the top block is actually the premium facing.
Correct. Then there will be a side gate here lor, then you can go out to your
Coffee
HDB.
shops.
Correct. So okay, now understanding this, okay, this is roughly how the unit mix look like. This is actually a main entrance area. Then you have all your blocks that is over here, and then the tennis court is over here. Okay, so we go next lah. We go into the unit type.
Yeah, so majority of the units are actually 2 and 3 beders.
Correct, over here. 2 and 3 bedder, 4 and 5 is actually more rare.
Correct.
We don't have 1 bedder in this Chuan Park,
Which is good lah,
unfortunately. Yeah, so a lot of people were asking about rental, which we will touch on later as well. Okay, so next.
So it's the unit distribution,
Yes.
just to take a look.
Correct. And then we will go into something that is very interesting. Is new development worth it?
Yep.
Okay, so basically, we know that Chuan Park area, right, is actually rather, I wouldn't say it's an old estate, but a lot of condo there are generally older.
Correct.
Yeah, and they haven't been a new development in that area so far.
13, 14 years, I think. The last
Maybe.
one is Cardiff Residence.
Yeah, or like maybe Scala and all.
But Cardiff Residence is actually a very small scale one.
Yes, this is a
Yeah.
big scale, 900,
Cannot compare,
915 units.
Yeah, 915 units.
thereabout. So we will dive in to show that is new development worth it, because usually for when there's a new development and there's an older development, we know that the older development confirm cheaper ma.
For sure.
For sure. So as a normal resale buyer going in, wow, I will be so scared by the new launch price, and I'll be so
Still
attracted.
can make money or not?
Yeah, still can make money or not. So
That's the key
this is the
question.
key question we are going in right now.
So we were saying, right, is this worth it? So basically there's no new launch in the past 13 years, right?
Yes.
So then there's definitely a very huge price gap between the new and resale. Resale definitely cheaper, right? Because last
Yes.
time they bought like 800 PSF, 1000 PSF,
Or
right?
in fact lower.
In fact,
Correct.
lower. So we actually use a comparison between Riverfront Residence and Evergreen Park. These two are actually side by side in around Hougang Avenue
area.
7.
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow,
So
you
at
know
the
the avenue.
yeah, I used
Okay.
to stay there, ma.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So for Riverfront Residence, right, as it's 6 years old from 2018,
Correct.
and we compare it to Evergreen Park, right? It's from 1995. So as of now, it's the difference in age gap is 23.
Correct. So basically, during that period of time when Riverfront is available for sale, they already have a 23 years old age gap already. So now let's see how they perform, okay? Okay, so now, in terms of, let's see. For Riverfront Residences and Evergreen, wow, during the period of time when Riverfront is for sale, right, they actually bought 80% higher. The PSF to start is 1193. Actually, 1193 is lower because that period of time got 1002, 1003. As a resale buyer.
But now, on hindsight, right, you see 1002, you're not so scared.
Oh, of course I'm not so scared. I
But
see
at the
2002, I also not scared already.
But at the point of time, right, you see a 666 versus 1193, will you be afraid?
Of course, I'll
Will
be
you
like,
buy now?
honestly, if I'm not a property agent and I'm just somebody outside, right,
You'll be intimidated, right?
I will be intimidated by this, but I will be very interested in this lah. Yeah, correct. So mean naturally in terms of PSF, then we also understand that when they sell, actually both also make profit. Not saying that the old one didn't make profit, but actually the profit is very, very, in terms, is quite similar.
At least,
even when you bought 80% higher. In fact, it's actually higher than the old one. Okay, when we go in depth later, you will understand that actually Singaporean generally they prefer newer housing lah.
For sure.
Actually, I brought every time when I bring my B19 clients out, right, then we will always go and see the newer ones like Riverfront, Sengkang Grand, and all. Then we will also look at the older ones. Then every time when I bring them to the older one, because sometimes they got budget constraint right? So either you go for the older one, slightly bigger, or the newer one but slightly smaller, but still the same, maybe 2 or 3 bedder, just difference in size. Then every time I reach the old one, they'll be like, hey, why am I here? Why you bring me here?
The feeling is very different.
The feeling is very different, like old Hong Kong housing like that one.
Oh.
Okay, so now let's look at we take the same comparison and plonk it into Chuan Park and Spring Bloom, because they are also side by side.
Yeah.
Right.
So between Chuan Park, right, which is new, and Spring Bloom as of now is about 29 years already.
Correct.
So actually it's older lah.
It's older. So basically Spring Bloom and Chuan Park, right, the difference in year old, right, the age, right, is actually older than Evergreen versus Riverfront.
Correct.
So how do you think they will perform next time?
I think people same lah, they will be afraid lah, right? Because
Afraid.
Chuan Park, if let's say I buy at this amount of PSF, will I be able to make money, especially when the older condos are significantly cheaper?
Lower. So we are looking at right now, speculated price about 2.5, 2.6, 2.7. Usually I think should be 2.5, okay, over here. So we are looking at currently transacted price for Spring Bloom is only at 1.588 leh. So we are talking about like if you are buying in at 2.5, it's about 58% different. 2.6 about 64% higher. Still lower than the Riverfront and Evergreen gap,
which is 80%.
Correct.
So chances are, right, since 80% gap can also yield you about like 50% profits. So in this case, even if they launch at 2.6, I think it's still quite safe to enter.
Yeah, it's still quite safe lah, because we already have a real life example of Riverfront versus Evergreen, and they are also in District 19.
Eventually, people will still prefer.
People will still buy because number one is new and all lah. Okay, so I think if is new development worth it, I think it's definitely worth it lah. But you have to be a bit more daring lah. I mean, to be very frank, right?
Because of course you still need to choose properly lah.
Correct. But of course, also if your budget allows lah, right? Okay, so now let's dive into two-bedder analysis. So before we start two-bedder analysis, right, we won't go straight into the layout, but we will be talking about developer pricing strategy for two-bedder.
So why is this important? Because actually we did Nava Grove, right? Nava Grove, we did a comparison between harmonized and non-harmonized. Then we make an estimate on what's the launch price.
Correct.
So are we able to do so for Chuan Park?
So different development, different project, we try to use different interesting angle lah. For this angle, actually, because we know that Normanton Park, which is developed by Kingsford, is also quite a new project, right? So we will take that as an example, because for Normanton Park, there is actually different facing.
Correct.
Right? We have
like Chuan Park.
Similar to Chuan Park. So we are going to use the facing and also the per floor jump to actually come up with like a estimate for Chuan Park.
So chances are the same developer will use the same strategy lah.
Right? Correct. That's why we come up with this slide, which is the developer pricing strategy for two-bedder. We're going to apply that for the other bedder types as well, but we will dive a little bit more intense into two-bedder and three-bedder. But
because the unit mix is heavily there.
Correct. But three-bedder we'll talk a bit less lah, because similar
Yeah.
So now let's look at Normanton Park site plan. Okay, so for Normanton Park two-bedder, right, you have three different kind of facing. You got your AYE city facing, you got your pool facing, you got your park and sea facing.
So
okay,
if it's you, which one you prefer?
I wanted to ask you that question. Yeah, very good. I will of course prefer sea and park. Usually sea park landed is what I'll go for because it's rare.
Correct.
Right? Then pool facing, I go whichever condo I also can buy pool facing ma.
Yeah.
And also pool facing got strategy one. Later when we go by the per floor jump, I will tell you, because not every level can see pool one. Yeah. Even if you're facing the pool.
Correct.
Okay, then AYE and city facing, maybe not so much for me, because I feel that maybe road sound, you know,
less
and
preferred.
Less preferred. But actually, you still get a bit of an unblocked view. So actually all three.
If you're high enough, you actually get quite okay.
And then if you're lower, you face the tree, that area. I mean, I personally been to Normanton Park many times, because a lot of agents, actually they stay at Normanton Park. You go there, every time I take the lift, I'll be
sure will buy to somebody, right?
Correct. So actually, Normanton Park is a project. I think that time because PSF is very reasonable, project is quite big, a lot of facilities, and there's a lot of good points. Popular, and my personal friend also. So I've been here. This area, if you look out, right, is a lot of like tree and greenery. There's actually very nice, a lot of nice barbecue hosting pits also. Okay, so I think generally all tree facing is not bad. So now we look at the premium in terms of facing.
See whether the developer actually loads which or favors which facing more.
Correct. So now we have the city versus the park and sea.
So we compare the best versus the not so preferred.
Yes, correct. Right. Not so preferred here lah. Okay, but still okay. And then this is one of the better facing.
Correct.
So we actually came out with like a best facing is park sea view.
Correct.
And then second is the pool view, inner facing. And then lastly in this area is AYE and city view.
For two-bedder.
Correct, for two-bedder. And you can see that in terms of price difference, right, in terms of percentage wise, for the difference in AYE and the sea facing, right, is actually about
5%.
5 point something, 5 to 5 point something percent.
Yeah, okay? So we match like level 5, level 11. So we make sure it's like we're on the same page lah.
Correct. So next we look at the AYE facing, which is the least preferred facing versus the second choice. So you can see that actually it dropped a little bit already.
But still high, still okay.
Still high, meaning to say that pool facing is still pretty much preferred lah.
Correct.
In terms of pricing wise, people are willing to pay a bit more for the pool facing. Okay, but you can see from here and here
5 to 4 lah.
Correct, 5 to 4 lah. So people are still preferring the sea facing. See, I do so many until I forgot. I want to say landed facing. Okay, then for park and so now is the best facing versus the second facing. So you can see that actually the price gap not so much, but still there.
So I think they know that people will probably choose these two lah.
Correct. As compared to maybe like the AYE facing, or later on there will be a west facing. So we can sum up a conclusion that Normanton Park, right, the developer strategy is that actually they upload a little bit more on the better facing side. Yes. Okay, so now next we will be talking about premium per floor jump. So just now we were talking about facing, good facing and bad facing. Don't confuse because when I'm doing this I was confused. Okay.
So normally, right, develop for new projects, right, for the per floor jump difference is about 1% to 1.2%.
Yes, 1 to 1.2.
So it's like about maybe 10 to 20,000 expecting per floor jump. But let's see whether Kingsford does the same for Normanton Park.
Correct. We will be talking about the park and sea facing. Wow, this one actually, is very low already. So meaning to say every time, usually just now what we mentioned is usually per floor jump, sometimes it's about 10,000,
10 to 20,000.
8,000, 10,000, 20,000. In fact, some of the project that I do, a lot of time is crossing the 8,000 range already.
For sure.
Yeah. So for this one, you can see the mid to high floor, right, the per floor jump is only 3,462, about 0.26%. Which is low. Then the low to mid floor is 0.21, and then the low to high, meaning this straight away to this is correct. It's about 2,000. Also, we divide into 3 different tier. The lower floor, 5th floor, mid floor, 11th floor, and the higher floor, 20th floor for this particular slide. So we can see that actually all their percentage per floor jump is all below 1 to 1.2.
So in this case, if I have the budget, I might just buy high floor.
Higher floor is preferred because actually the per floor jump is not very high.
Not significant. Correct. Not significant. The loading is actually on the facing, not so much on the per floor.
Correct. And you see the premium is actually not very high also for PSF in terms of like the facing that we mentioned just now, the 5% and the 4%. Yeah.
So if budget really constrained, I get a lousier facing but higher floor.
Yeah.
So that means it's the AYE facing.
Maybe
actually not so bad, ma.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Yes, actually the AYE facing, I think nowadays a lot of them, the balcony, they will give you acoustic roofing or something to reduce the sound.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's quite okay one. Okay, so now pool facing. Okay, so this is the second preferred facing. Then you can see, wow, it's also there about just now was 0.21, 0.26.
Correct.
Yeah, for the better facing, okay, per floor jump. But this one for pool facing per floor jump, you realize that 0.17 only quite low.
Same,
Yeah, still below 1 and 1.2.
Yep.
And then their premium jump is also very, very low.
Correct.
So I agree with you, Lor. Like if it's in this case, I will go for something that is maybe in terms of facing, you don't have to pick the best facing. I'm also not telling you to pick the AYE. Maybe you can go for the pool facing, but like maybe on a higher floor.
But because pool facing, there's another strategy.
Oh yes, in the 3-bedder part we'll talk about it. Too high also not too good lah. Okay, so for AYE side, okay, this is the least preferred facing, but you can see that the per floor jump is very similar. Not much of a change, as compared to just now those.
Correct.
Yeah, so we already concluded for you guys. So usually if let's say on the day itself, the developer apply this similar strategy to Chuan Park, right, then we can actually opt for something like maybe not the best facing, but in higher floor.
Correct.
But if you die, one landed, then you got the budget, go for it lah, right?
For sure,
Yeah, so this is just an analysis. Okay, so now to recap, right, in terms of site map, we are actually, you have two. This is the entrance area. This is actually the site
MRT.
area. So you can take a 1 minute walk here to the MRT, 2 minutes walk to the MRT. Over this side is the new tech park. Of course, like I mentioned, the north side is the landed area. This side is actually HDB and school. Okay, and then this side is the older condo, Golden Hill and new tech park. This side, Spring Bloom. By the time I finish this, I think everybody is very clear.
Very clear where is what already.
Yes.
So actually I got a few customers ask me, actually Chuan Park, right, if let's say I buy for rental, can make money because next to MRT.
Yeah, okay, this is a topic that we will touch on next. Like in District 19, where there is a lot of supply, is it still good to buy for rental? Because a lot of people, I also don't know why, when they talk about Chuan Park, they always say, hey, rental good. Actually, and then rental not good, man. But anyway, let's look into this. Today, we are not talking about rental, we are talking about Chuan Park.
Yep.
Okay, so we are looking at a rental in the district, right, with many condo supply.
For sure, 19 has a lot of condos because it stretches from Serangoon, Kovan,
Hougang, Buangkok,
Sengkang.
Sengkang, Punggol.
So many.
Yeah.
There are a lot of condos.
Actually, it's quite funny these days when I go out, I will ask my friend, oh, do you all need to leave home or something like that? Then be like, oh, you stay where, D19? You stay where, D19? You stay where, D19?
Very far.
Yeah, but everybody is in the northeast. Then I'm just like, why is everybody in the northeast?
Even Upper Serangoon is very long.
Yes, correct. So there are many condo. You have big scale, small scale, freehold, leasehold, new one, old ones, all got. Okay, so now let's see whether how it perform. Okay, so we are using an example of Riverfront and Sengkang Grand. Okay, I ask you an example lah. If you are a foreigner, you come to Singapore, you work in CBD.
Okay.
Where do you hope to rent?
CBD lah, then I can roll down to office ma.
If you can no budget for CBD, maybe your East Coast area,
Sure, that's
Ring
still
Line,
further lah.
Clementi,
Yeah.
you stay a bit further lah, but you
Correct.
would ideally want to stay as close to your workplace as possible.
Correct.
So the chances of people actually coming to D19 not a lot, unless maybe like sometimes school. Like a lot of my tenant for D19,
Unless there's a specific reason lah.
specific reason, a lot of them like Global International School is over here and they want their kids to be near school and all. So there will still be people coming into District 19.
For
But
sure.
it's just that I realize that most people, if they are working in the CBD area, especially expats and all, right,
They
maybe
won't
one-
purposely choose there like
Correct.
given the budget lah.
Correct. So now let's see Riverfront Residences and Sengkang Grand. Okay, Riverfront Residences, I don't have the map here, but it's actually it's a 17 minutes walk away from Hougang MRT, very near the Canal Longgang area.
No,
Oh, never mind. We got shuttle bus. got shuttle bus. And also the side gate wise, right there, every side gate there is actually a bus stop. And it's quite self-sufficient because below it, right, there is a NTUC already. Quite decent size. A vegetable shop, fruit shop, pet shop, taekwondo shop. Taekwondo shop. Yes, yeah. So there are actually quite a lot of things over there. Okay, Sengkang Grand on another hand, 不简单. No
滚
simple.
下去就是到 MRT.
Yes,
It's just
you'll
downstairs.
shelter all the
Even
way.
if it's raining, you are not going to face an issue. But is there a difference between the rental prices between Riverfront and Sengkang?
Correct. Also, we can see here, these are all two-beders, and these are all recently transacted in August 2024. You can see that the average rental for Riverfront, right, is at 3345.
Yep.
Right? Then we say Sengkang Grand until 这么好. 这么好 means very good. Okay? Just explain a little bit. Then we see, but the average rental price is only 3,600.
300 extra for your
300,
convenience.
yeah, for the convenience. And then, do you know that the launch price, this one is around 1100 to about 1300, right?
Yeah.
This one is about 1700 to what? Towards the end is about
2,000.
2,000. Yeah, so you're paying so much more, but your rental, you're collecting $300
So
more.
basically, this area is more for own stay lah, not really for rental yield lah.
Not
Not,
really.
the purpose is not mainly
For rental yield. For rental yield, maybe you can look at more closer to CBD area. This area still got rental yield, but it's just that you are buying in at such a higher price already,
Premium.
right? As compared to maybe your nearby project. And now we are talking about supply. There's already so many supply. People that see Sengkang Grand, right? They will also go and see Riverfront
Correct.
because of the price. Then sometimes maybe to them it's like, hey, I take a shuttle bus. Also about
Not
the
so
same,
bad,
not so bad lah. So they will actually go for this more. Likely also faster in terms of rental as compared to Sengkang Grand.
Yeah.
So we bring it back to our Lorong Chuan Serangoon area. So now we see the Scala
Scala.
and we see Chuan Park.
Both very near to MRT. Actually, I was looking at Scala for rental before two-bedder. Because about 900 to 1,000
So
square feet.
much
quite
bigger
impressive,
than Chuan Park's two-bedder already, huh?
So their rental about 4,500.
Okay, correct. So now we see Chuan Park, because it's closer to MRT, usually a bit higher. But looking at just now how the Riverfront and Sengkang is, right, let's just use a guide of not too much. Okay lah. I wanted to
Give
say
face lah,
4,500.
give
We give face. We say $5,000. Okay, and we are looking at purchasing at based on 2.6 PSF. It will cost you a two-bedder there will cost you about 1.82 million, and it's a
Smaller.
700 square feet as compared to 900 square feet.
Yeah.
Your rental yield is actually at 3.3. Decent, but not the best. Okay, so actually what we're trying to say is in this area, you can rent or not, still can rent, but it's not really a priority for people to come over here.
Like, don't make it your mission to buy Chuan Park for rental.
Correct. Because actually over there, mostly, I mean, there's many supply, and there's just one new tech park there. I also don't think that the
Unless
new
you
tech park...
target the tenants for new tech park.
Correct lah, but not everybody is looking out for rental also ma. But it's true, I used to work at new tech park. Okay, I didn't share that.
Next door, is it?
I wish I stay next door. I used to work at Lobby H, super far, the last lobby of it all. And I always go to, last time Chuan Park, the old development, right, they have a Thai food. Okay, by the way, if anybody
inside.
Yeah, anybody remember or know where this Thai food place moves to,
Nice.
please let me know. It has the best Thai food. Sorry, a bit away from this topic. But yes, okay, so back to this. Where am I?
So the rental yield, so we are not, you shouldn't buy Chuan Park just purely
Correct.
based
So
on
I do
rental.
have some colleagues that are renting at Chuan Park area,
Ah.
but actually a lot of them don't mind renting at other area also. Yeah, so like what you say, lor, it's not necessarily like just the only place for like, you know, to put it a mission to buy this space for rental lah.
If let's say the premium is just way too large, some people be like, okay, Lord, I just stay slightly further lah. Not
Yeah, actually for you, you would choose Scala lah because
I will.
in terms of size, actually it's
Yeah.
not too far of difference. So that is what we want to share over here. Okay, so now after sharing all this and having more information, I think it's time to bring you to the two-bedder layout. Okay, come Mel, let's go.
So the first one, we have the smallest two-bedder layout, is 700 square feet. So they have 5 stacks.
Yes,
We have
one,
both inner and
two,
outer facing glass.
three.
Most of them actually face the pool.
This one face pool. This one is
Almost
facing
pool lah,
almost pool, but the road area lah, landed is actually over here. Then pool facing.
So
Right.
104 units lah. So I think this one is just a basic layout.
Kitchen area. The moment you enter, you see the kitchen area. You have a proper dining space here.
Small one lah.
Smaller one.
Bathroom
Yeah.
got no windows though.
No window. Sorry, over here no window, and no window.
Yeah.
Okay, so we move on to the next two-bedder plus study.
Yeah. So the 2 plus study, we have 2 different kinds of layout.
Can I zoom in?
732 and 743 square feet.
Yes, correct. Okay, 732 first lah.
So 732, we have a designated study,
Yes, over here.
right? And a small dining area.
Over
a bit
here.
awkward lah because you only can put your dining area against the countertop of your
Yeah, and then
kitchen.
if you put your chair, right, I suppose that it will...
no, 2 seats only.
Oh,
no,
okay,
4
two
seats.
seats.
2 seats only.
Or you can pull out lah, you know, when you host and all, but you'll
Yeah.
probably block your door to your
Yeah, it's
master
a little bit
bedroom.
awkward lah. So I will actually feel
No
that
window.
no
window.
could have a better dining area lah. Dining I think is still important lah.
Yes, of course, for two-bedder. Yeah, but actually some
You
people,
still want to eat
they buy
mah.
the coffee table and they sit down there.
Sit on
and
the
eat.
floor.
Some of them they actually put in the balcony also, it's possible.
Sure.
But then actually this is one of my preferred layout. Actually, I should have said it in the next slide, but I already told you the answer already. So basically, kitchen area, once you come in, you got this proper kitchen area, right? And then good thing is there is actually no wall here. So you can see the light actually penetrate through here, right? And then what you can see when you step in, right, is actually this whole
Quite a huge space.
quite a
ah.
huge space. So
Initially when we see, actually we
this
thought this
one.
one very squeezy,
we thought that it's
right?
very tight and squeezy, but we went down already. We really went down to the show flat and we
Actually,
scouted
not
for
bad
it.
leh.
Wow,
Not bad,
no,
not
it's
bad,
very
not bad.
spacious.
Not bad.
I shocked. Yeah. So what you can do over here is if you don't need too big of a bedroom, right, you can actually make it smaller. Then this whole area you hack it away. Then you actually have a very big space over here for your dining. This wall over here you can actually hack it, change to a sliding door for your master room. Then over here you can actually put a very big.
Proper 6-seater dining table.
Yes. Then here you don't need to be dining, or it can be your living.
Just do a bit of ID lah, put a bit of lights there, make
Correct.
it nice, cozy.
In fact, this layout, I don't see in any other condo.
No.
Or at least not the recent launches
No.
lah. Okay, but I got to say again, the bathroom, same thing, and the kitchen, for basically all two-bedders, we don't have windows. Okay? So next, our top choice, which I already mentioned to you, will be the 743 square feet.
Because of the flexibility lah. And
correct.
then you
Yeah.
actually have more choices to do that things that actually suit you.
Correct.
Right?
Actually,
And
that day somebody say, oh, you corner here off, make one room, corner here off, make one room, corner here off, make one room, corner here off, make one room. I'm just like, oh, this is insane. But no.
Let's make this suitable for
Own
stay.
stay, correct. You're not here to co-living, do a co-living. Okay, so our second choice, of course, will be the 700
The
square feet.
smallest one.
Another thing is, okay, for example, if let's say the 700 square feet one, right, because in terms of facing, they are of a better facing.
Correct, yeah.
So
Inward pool facing, right?
so we use it as the 2650, right? You are looking at about 1.855. But for this number one choice, right, is actually, some of them are actually facing outwards. So if I use a $100 PSF lower, you are looking at 1.895.
Almost same price.
Yeah, just a
Almost,
difference of 39,000, 40,000. You get additional study area, right? I think, and you get the flexibility of changing this around. So that's why we actually put this as the first choice, and then this one is the second choice.
Yep. Okay, let's move on to the 3-bedder. Again, we'll be doing the developer pricing strategy so that we actually get a feel. Is it the same that they Kingsford actually load on the premium facing?
Correct, for Chuan. So now we look at Normanton Park.
Normanton Park, we have 3 different facing. The Park C facing, pool facing, and then the sunset view facing.
I like how you say that, yes.
Sunset view. Some people like
I like. You cannot?
I cannot. Okay, so let's look at the premium facing.
Okay, hold on. This one I want to touch. Sunset view really got people like one. So usually I go from, but I realize it's usually a type of certain genre of buyers who will like. They will be like, oh, sunset view, perfect. Okay, sorry. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay, so we'll be comparing the best facing and the least preferred facing. So number 1, we will compare the Park C facing compared to the west facing.
Correct.
So I think similarly we can see as compared to the 2-bedders, right? Same lah, there is also a
This is our preferred one lah. This
premium.
is the third lah. Okay.
3 to 4%.
3 to 4%. Yes, slightly lower a little bit really.
Yeah.
Meaning to say actually people do like the west facing one. Okay, as compared to like maybe the AYE facing
So
one.
sunset view is better than
Of
AYE.
course,
Okay,
sunset view is the perfect thing. I do not like sunrise view. I like sunset view. Wow, when you see the egg yolk setting is different. Yeah, I can send you the photo later. Okay, so now we'll be looking at the west side facing sunset view, okay, versus the second preferred type, which is the pool facing. You can see that it's still there about the same. You got 2.2 to 4 kind of percentage. Okay, so now let's see the best facing, okay, first versus the second. Actually the gap is also much lower already.
Yeah.
Right? So it's very similar to
like
the 2-bedder. So the 2-bedder, like the AYE and the first 2 preferred facing is all about 4-5 difference. But this one, the sunset facing plus the versus the first and second facing that we like is about 3 to 4. Yeah. And then for park and pool, you realize that for 2-bedder, right, it's about the same.
Not much.
Yeah.
So basically we can safely assume that Kingsford develops this strategy for premium facing. They put more premium.
The nicer view you get, the more money you pay. In layman terms, right? Okay.
What about per floor jump?
Per floor jump, okay, this one very interesting. Okay, so first and foremost, we see the first most attractive view, right? So we can see that actually it's still low. So 0.22, 0.17, 0.24 is very much similar to our 2-bedder.
Correct. So recap, the normal per floor jump is about 1 to 1.2%.
Correct.
So this is actually very, very manageable.
And usually for like the higher floor per floor jump is more than 10k
higher
already. Yeah, but you can see that actually they are still in the 3k range. So it's still okay. So what we can sum up is still maybe buy a not so good facing. Actually, west facing is perfectly fine for me. So west facing and a higher floor, I will go for that. Okay, so next pool facing, you can okay. So this is the difference. This is what we want to highlight to you. You see the low to mid floor, the jump is
0.51. This is like the normal level.
Okay, no lah. Not normal, still lower.
Still lower.
But
as compared to the others,
yeah,
right, it's considered like a premium.
Then,
so why?
So why? Okay, because conclusion is if you stay too high floor, right,
you cannot see the pool.
Yeah, you can't see the pool.
Eye level.
Yeah, you need to peep out.
You
need to peep out. Yeah, you can only see the sky. So it's I want
not full view lah.
It's not lame, but okay. but it is like, yeah, it's no pool view lah. So a lot of time I go a higher floor, then they always tell me pool view. Then I'm like, where the pool 在哪里? Because you can only see like the sky or the far view. But if you go to a lower or like a mid-level, more like a mid-level, like a 5th floor, 6th floor, that kind, and then if you put your sofa there with a TV, right, the moment
see the pool.
Yeah, perfect one. It's very serene, and I love to have like water sound and water feature right outside. too
No,
low.
you just like flat lor.
Yeah,
flat
feels a bit low lor. Feels a bit flat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that is the reason why we feel that actually the mid floor has a
Correct, slightly higher. You see the low to high, right? Also not too much. Yeah.
But still less than 1%.
Yes, still less than 1%. So this one is actually the west side facing. This one is normal already. All similar. Okay, less than 1 or 1.2%. So like what we mentioned earlier in our two-bedder, if you can try to, if let's say on the launch date, Chuan Park, in terms of pricing strategy is very similar to this, then I would say then we just go ahead to look for the higher floor unit. But then maybe everybody watch this video, they also know to go for the higher floor. All gone already, then lower floor also not too bad no choice already. Then you look out for me maybe we go other place. Just kidding. Okay, so now we recap a little bit. So again, this is actually the landed side. Okay, I don't want to say too much already because I'm just repeating the same thing. Yeah, I think everyone that watched until this point, they are also very familiar with it. So layout.
3-bedder, we got 8 different layouts.
I never count but she go and count. Yeah. So good job. Okay, come 3 classic. Classic we got 3, but we will start with 2 first.
So basically for 3-bedder classic, the compact, right, we have C1 and C1A. We compare these two first. Later we'll explain why.
Correct.
So it's at 915 square feet and 936 square feet.
Correct.
So what's the difference?
Correct. So this one, the moment you come in, I feel that you have a wider corridor. This one a bit more narrow. And this one, okay, good thing is all this, right, is transparent window lah. So light gets to penetrate through in. Then for dining space, I feel that this is much better because you proper lah. You have a dining space. This one very narrow leh. You put out your chair will be put out lah.
2 chair.
Oh, 2 chair. Cannot lah. This is a 3-bedder. You cannot have 2 chair already. People got family already. Okay, so the dining area, like what I mentioned, may block the corridor area lah.
Yeah.
Kitchen area will still be bright for both of them. Okay, and then this one, for toilet wise, there will be windows already. Window. Master bedroom here also got extra window. Here also got window. Okay, so the light actually comes in through here and here, so it enlarges the whole space itself lah. Even for this one as well.
However, for C1, right, there is only 44 units.
Oh, okay,
as
yes.
compared to C1A with
much more rare. Okay lah, don't need go next page really. This one win. I think.
There's actually a C1B.
Okay, yeah, true.
There's actually a C1B also, but later we actually compare it to deluxe. We will explain later why.
Correct. Okay, so our top choice for 3-bedder classic will be the 915 square feet according
to
to
proper dining and
correct. All the windows in all the toilet and a bigger corridor area, proper dining space. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, and also because it's slightly smaller, sometimes the quantum wise maybe cheaper. Yeah, so I think this is our top choice. So now let's look at 3-bedder deluxe. Okay, now it will be 2+1 because we plong the 958 here.
So C1B is actually a 3-bedroom compact. However, because it comes with a household shelter, right? And we compare that to the 3-bedroom deluxe, it's actually side-by-side comparison because they also have the home shelter.
Correct. Just that, you know what else they have? They have this WC. You want to tell them the story of WC?
So I actually have a friend, right, who actually really mind that the 3-bedder does not have a WC.
Yes.
So some people might don't mind. So what's the reason why they don't? Why they don't mind? We
have a discussion with this because personally for me, I'm like, why do you need an extra WC? You already have 2 toilets, you can share toilet ma. Then they're like, oh no. A lot of people with helper insisted that it's very necessary to have an extra WC because they have their own private, toilet to their own. We have our own private our shampoo and my shampoo. It's very expensive. Then I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. So I guess personal preference lah. So I guess people with bigger family type, they generally will opt for a WC lah. But actually, a lot of the houses that I go, the WC end up become an extra storeroom because they will just put all their pails and everything on it lah. Okay, so that is for this two extra WC, but this one is just with the bomb shelter. For this one, kitchen might be slightly darker because it's not like protrude out, so no light gets to come in, right?
The aircon ledge, but which is only half lah.
Then you see the dining space also slightly shorter already, as compared. Yeah. So for this one, C2 wise, I think this one you have C2A, you have a very good proper dining space already.
But this one, the C2, it's a bit awkward because there is like the entrance of the kitchen is in front of the dining.
Yeah, then you block lor. So it's a bit awkward.
The other side, you block your corridor.
I guess this one you need to shift around. You open it and you shift around. Yeah, if not, you can't be doing it here. So I think this one will be a bit more awkward because you don't really have a proper dining space. You can't hang the bomb shelter away also. At least this one you have a very good.
In the balcony now.
Aiyo, so poor thing. Okay lah, so you know where we are going for our choices, huh? So now our top choice for 3-bedder would be
C2A.
C2A.
Those
So
are the proper
dining
area,
space lah.
plus WC,
Correct.
and shelter lah.
And also actually they are a bit more rare lah, 57 units. This one, this one got 80 units.
Okay lah.
Mm.
But it's just the layout lah. I think that's more preferred. If let's say you really need a WC.
Correct. Okay, so now let's move on to our
3-bedroom
premium. Okay. So 3-bedder premium, the size is much bigger already.
1206 and 1227.
This kind usually 4-bedder size already. Yeah, in other
the
area.
C3 very interestingly. When you open the main door, that's the entrance of the home shelter.
This one is the show flat model, right? I
Yes.
think so. Okay, we went. Okay. So the moment you open, then your bomb shelter door is here. Your bomb shelter door must be perpetually closed. Yeah, if not, you cannot open the door or you might hit into the door. Yeah, so if let's say you convert this, I mean because this one don't have helper room, so a lot of time people will use this as helper room.
Yeah, so then ventilation how?
Ventilation, you must remove the door lah, but you must put the door somewhere, and then you probably need to do a bifold door or clip-on door, that kind.
Yeah.
But going in, coming out might be a bit of problem. Like you just can't open the door.
Yeah.
So this one is a bit
Strange.
not strange, a bit harder for family with like
Logistically lah.
helper. Yeah, but if you just need it as a storeroom, you probably won't open your storeroom door all the time, so that's fine.
Proper dining area.
Proper dining area, big
3-bedder lor.
big kitchen area with lights coming in. Proper 3-bedder, so and they have this
wardrobe
walk-in wardrobe.
Not bad. All the wardrobes are nicely
Yes.
put in one side.
Just now we said that this is not walk-in, it's a tuck-in wardrobe.
Tuck-in wardrobe.
Tuck-in
No
wardrobe.
tuck-in kitchen with tuck-in wardrobe.
Okay, see my friend, so funny. Okay, then and then another thing to highlight is this one got bomb shelter. This one is actually a store. Yeah, so you can actually remove this one. You make it bigger also can, make it smaller also can. And then there is an entrance from the kitchen area.
This is more feasible for helper's room.
Yeah, actually more flexible. You can actually change it also. Then maybe it can be a helper's room. Correct. Yeah, so this one might be more preferred. I hope I'm saying the right thing. Okay, so next we will compare the 3-bedder premium
to the deluxe.
to the deluxe.
Right, so why are we doing this? Because essentially they all have the home shelter, they all have the WC. So what is the premium difference that you're paying between the deluxe and the 3-bedroom premium? Is it worth it or not? So we see the pricing.
Correct. So for this one is 1206. So we are using 2550 PSF as example because of the
Inner facing.
inner facing. So we are
So
looking at
number one is the landed facing, number 2 is the pool facing, number 3 is the condo and school facing lah.
correct.
Right, so that's why we put a 50 PSF premium for inner facing
Because that's the pool facing
and
part.
100 PSF premium for landed facing.
Correct.
So using that as estimate.
Correct. So we are looking at the price of between 3.075 and 3.19 million dollar. But the reason why we take up the 3-bedder deluxe for comparison is because actually technically they have everything lah. They have bomb shelter, you want WC, this one also have WC, this one also have. The only thing is maybe the wardrobe law. Wardrobe is a bit
Tuck-in
different.
wardrobe.
Yeah, but you look at the price itself, you're looking at about
600k difference.
Yeah, correct. So that's why if you're looking at this, maybe you can actually go for the 3-bedder deluxe lah.
And for 600,000
unless you
more,
really
right?
need the size lah.
Unless you really need a tuck-in wardrobe.
I believe the living and the dining area also probably should be bigger. This is 1227. This is
Yeah.
only 1033. Yeah, but if let's say you need all the necessary 点到 the pointers, which is like all the bedrooms, you need the necessary thing like all the bedrooms, bomb shelter, WC, and you're okay with this size, actually you should go for this. It's talking about
Because
600,000.
for 600,000 more, right, you're actually quite close to the 4-bedder pricing already.
Correct.
But you have another bedroom, right?
Yeah, so this is what we are going next, which is 3-bedder, similar, that too, same thing, as compared to the 4-bedder over here.
Yeah.
This one, you actually got your 4th proper bedroom, and it's a junior master. Correct. And if you're looking at the PSF, we multiply, you're looking at 3.27, as compared to like 3.07 and 3.19. So a little bit top up. So it's like, if you are buying a premium, you are like sandwiched between. So basically, if your budget is a little bit lower, just go for the deluxe. If your budget can stretch a little bit, then why not just try to go for the 4-bedder? Yeah, then one of your kids will be so happy with you.
And then for the 4-bedder, right, even if let's say you only need 3 bedrooms, these 2 bedrooms can actually have one.
Yes, here.
Because you see there are no wardrobe.
Okay lah. So later we will go to the 4 and 5 bedder, you will see that there's no wardrobe also. So the developer did say that actually this wall in the middle, right? Because this is actually good because you can hack. Some of them PVC one you can't hack.
Yeah.
So this one you can actually hack. You can actually make it into a very big room. Alternatively, you can hack here and then you can actually extend out more, make a bigger living space or something like that. So actually this is actually more flexible. Okay, so now let's look into our 4 bedder layout for comparison.
Let's go.
There's 2 different types, D1 and D2, 1335 square feet and 1389 square feet.
Only one major difference
Point out to me, like, oh okay, it's here.
It's out there.
Yeah, it's really pointed out. Okay, so and it's done by me somehow. So this is the store area. Okay, so for this one, 1389, you have a proper store area. This one it's a store area but not bomb shelter. You can remove it. But the thing is, if you don't remove it and you need a storeroom, 4 bedder people usually is big family. You definitely need a storeroom.
Correct.
Then for this dining space,
Because a lot smaller.
Yeah, a lot smaller. It's a bit hard for you to put a dining space. Some more if you're a 4 bedder, right? You likely need a bigger dining space.
Maybe 6-seater at least.
This whole place like that makes me feel like a 3 bedder.
Yeah.
So this one, you actually do get a bigger proper dining space. Of course, you get the junior master room. You get the master room with a tuck-in wardrobe. And then for this 2 rooms, same thing. There is only 1 wardrobe given. So you can actually hack it. I think pretty much it's really the location of the store.
But you have this same issue of the home shelter. You have to keep it permanently closed.
Correct.
Eventually for 4 bedder, definitely mostly for own stay, dining is very important.
This one is very important.
You can put like a 6 to 8 seater here for sure.
Correct. And it's no longer like 2 bedder, like what you mentioned. 4 bedder, 3 bedder, usually dining space is very important. You also need to host your family and all. So our top choice for 4 bedder would be
for
D2.
sure the D2.
Correct.
For sure.
Okay, so now let's move on to 5 bedder.
Wow, so fast. We're on 5 bedder already.
Yes. Wow, with you around, I'm not fast. Okay, so for 5 bedder, right? Okay, so for 5 bedder, not every condo has 5 bedder.
Yeah, actually quite rare in this area.
Yes, a lot of time they just stop at the 4 bedder. Okay, so now let's go into the 5 bedder area. Okay, in terms of stack itself, there is only 1 stack which is over here. Like what we say, of course, the landed facing is here. So you are actually over here. So in terms of 5 bedroom, the moment you come in, same thing, the bomb shelter is stuck here. You have a dry and wet kitchen. The dry kitchen actually they just give beside like a
They say can put steamboat there, got induction cooker there.
Wow, who told you that? This person confirm never cook one. It's steamboat on the induction cooker. You're so poor thing. You can just put the table here and put the steamboat here.
But anyway, there's an induction cooker there.
Who is that?
There's an induction cooker there.
Okay, there's an induction cooker. There is also a sink over here.
Yeah.
So you want to bake and all, it's also easy. So also they have a kitchen over here with the extra WC. And then after that, they have a junior master tuck at one side. So a lot of time for 5 bedder is usually multi-gen.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe the older parents can get the junior master room. Then for the younger one with the family, then it will be here bedroom 1, 2, 3, 4.
So bedroom 3 and 4 就是那个没有 wardrobe 的。
No wardrobe. Yeah, not given, but you have the flexibility of changing this around. You have flexible of removing this as well. So the developer actually leave it up to you.
So for this master bedroom, we have a his and her sink.
Yes, this one is also very important.
And a separate toilet.
Okay, so separate toilet. Okay, no, this is the WC.
There's a door.
Correct. This is WC, which is the toilet here. This is a shower and then you have the dual sink over
hotel
here.
Feeling,
Very much like hotel feeling already. Actually, for 5 bedder, recently I got a super love 5 bedder. If you want to know where, you reach out to me.
Okay.
Later I tell you. Okay. So now let's look at the supply of 5 bedder in Lorong Chuan. Wow.
So we only have at Amaranda Gardens. Amaranda.
I want to say Amaranda, but okay. Sure, we don't really know how to pronounce, but we Google it and it's
you were
pretty
saying
old.
it looks like
old Hong Kong housing again. Okay, so it looks like that. Severely undersupply. Can you imagine the whole of Lorong Chuan, there's only 3 units of 5 bedder.
It's not on sale, it's only 3 units.
3 units.
There are only 3 units.
So if I want to buy a 5 bedder, I can't even look at this area. The only place that I can look at Chuan Park
is Amaranda.
Correct. But then you have to understand that a lot of people that are looking at 5 bedder with the budget of around the 4 mil range, right? They can buy a lot of things. They can also buy landed. So a lot of clients, when they see 5 bedder, I'm very interested, but actually I can buy landed.
What are my options?
What are my options? So let's see what are your options in the district. I mean that the Lorong Chuan Serangoon area in terms of 4 million. So if you're looking at landed, right, you can buy. Not saying you cannot. But most of them, right, we have already researched for you. If you're looking at a landed like around the 4 million or slightly below 4 million, they are generally smaller.
For sure.
Yes, their land size maybe 2,000 square feet. Each floor maybe about 1,000 square feet. Then 1,000 square feet is like your 3-bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is how it is. And these are the freehold kind. Of course, you maybe probably can get a bigger one, but it's 99-year cluster housing. But then we always have this debate, like if you are buying a landed already, then shouldn't you go for the freehold and 999?
For sure, like if not, like what's kind of the point for?
Yeah, because people want to buy that, let the land appreciate or maybe pass down to the next generation. Yeah. But of course, I do have friends that I don't mind kids. Yeah, I just want a big house, and then I don't care who am I going to give it to. Just already die already lor. Then of course then you can look at the 99-year cluster. I'm not saying that cannot lah. Yeah, but next time when you want to sell, don't tell me it's very easy to sell. It's not as easy. True. Okay, so there's this two kind of landed that you'll be looking at. But of course there will be people that don't prefer landed. So we will touch on later. For the older housing, right? Yes, maybe they are 3.8, 3.9, 4.1, 4.2. But you probably need to do an extensive renovation. And we all know that renovation these days not cheap.
Firstly, not cheap and take very long.
Oh, take very long is the worst because you probably need to rent somewhere.
Yeah.
Then there's rental fee, and then you add in your renovation fee, usually more than 1 million. If you want to add lift, additional fee and everything, right?
So myself 做到完, right? If let's say you're gonna do it.
So actually your price, you're not looking at 3.8 or 4 already. You're looking at much higher.
More.
Correct. So what happens when there are very, very little supply? So again, now we'll give you some example. This one we shared before for other projects. Can't remember which project, but it's
one of them
for the 5-bedder. But again, we will be bringing back Tampines for Treasure.
So Treasure at Tampines for 5 bedrooms, there's 110 units. Around 110 units is a lot, right?
Compared to 3 in Lorong Chuan, it's a lot.
Correct. But in Treasure at Tampines is a 2,000 plus units project lah.
Yes, very big.
If we compare it to Tampines itself, we
don't
have 8 units in East Point Green.
Correct. 8 units for East Point Green. Other than that, it's just Treasure. And in fact, for people that buy 5-bedder, most of the time it's for own say. And usually during TOP period, they don't really want to sell it because they waited so long for it already. They also want to enjoy it. That's why you see for Treasure during TOP, that period of time when we were doing this slide, right, there are only 13 units for sale, given that there are 100. Yeah, exactly, 10%. And plus this one, I think they won't be selling right? So you only have 13 units again in this whole supply. So let's look at the profit.
How did they do?
Yes, wow. As we can see over here.
Impressive. It's 981,000.
Correct. And this is January 2024, means we did this earlier this year.
3 years, they're holding period only 3 years.
Correct. And you're close to $1 million already. And you're telling me, a lot of people say, 5-bedder, how to sell. Then actually you can see already.
So because there's a lack of supply, and when people who really need to buy a 5-bedder, they will buy a 5-bedder.
Correct.
Right? So this is
no choice.
Then people, 5-bedder family, right? Maybe they don't want to wait, that's why they don't mind paying a premium.
Correct. So now, let's look at another area. This one closer to home for me. Okay, so Jadescape area. Alright, so Jadescape area, as you can see, when they were selling, there are only 39 units, much lesser than your Treasure at Tampines already. See the nearby area, Marymount View, all this, right? 2 to 4-bedder, 2 to 4, 1 to 4-bedder. The only one with 5-bedder is Simin Plaza. Hiyo, if you Google Simin Plaza.
Also another Hong Kong housing.
I don't know to say Hong Kong or Macau.
Same.
But anyway, by the way, I love their housing. It's just that it's slightly a little bit more dated lah. Okay,
yeah.
But in terms of size, usually it's slightly bigger as well. Let's see how Jadescape. Okay, so for Jadescape wise, 39 units only. But that time when they are able to sell, there are only 4 units for sale.
Same 10%.
Say 10%. So it's actually very, very rare still.
Yeah,
right?
Correct.
So now let's see how they perform. Just now we saw the Treasure, now we see Jadescape. So
wow.
Okay, crossed the 1 million mark already. So these are the kind of amount of prices that you are looking at. So a lot of people say 5-bedder can make profit meh, 5-bedder can sell meh. So we are trying to tell you that we are showing you that 5-bedder can sell and 5-bedder profit.
In the first place, not many people selling.
Yeah, in the first place. That's why supply is low.
Yeah,
and you have to go in. No choice already. Then where else can you go? If not, means landed already. So now let's look at Jadescape area again, landed. So what I'm trying to tell you here is Jadescape 5-bedder is sold at 4.55 million. But then you see, got landed around that is still cheaper. And we can still see that Jadescape still got people buy. And still got people selling it with a profit of over $1 million.
Actually, the upkeep of a landed house is not cheap.
It's not cheap. You have
and a lot of work.
a lot of work. You need to find your own gardener. You probably need your own helper because like, so big, right?
And what if your roof漏水?
Wow, that one, the worst thing recently I got one landed client is that we need to care about like termite issue, termite infestation, roof leaking. All these
kind of problems
very
that are
expensive.
unforeseen.
Correct. So looking at this landscape, 30 Jalan Pintau, this one is a freehold, 2039 land size and only selling at $3.4 million. Looking at this, we can derive that it's likely going to be older housing, older landed. So with all this, right, if you want to put in like $1 million for renovation, it's also about 4.4, or it's going to be a bit higher than that. For this 98 Pemimpin Terrace house is a freehold, much smaller land size, 1680, and they're selling at 4.338. Likely it's a new build lah. So it's going to be very nice. But even with this one that is new, this one that is old, people are still buying in Jadescape because not everybody can climb staircase, right? I mean, sometimes people get a bit older.
1680, you just divide by 2, maybe 800.
Wow, this one very small, correct. And also for Chuan Park, right, we are very near a lot of landed enclave. All this kind of landed enclave people, right, sometimes they don't want to do or don't want to deal with all this maintenance anymore, or they, cannot build, some of them cannot live inside because of the space constraint, right?
Yet they want to stay still around the area.
Correct. Then they will be looking at in this case, Jadescape, but our case will be Chuan Park lah. So whether Chuan Park 5-bedder can sell or not, I believe that looking at the Jadescape and Treasure comparison, I think it's very
there's
attractive.
only 3 units in the whole area.
In terms of supply, is way lesser than Jadescape area because at least this one still got, and also Treasure area lah, because this one still got 8 units. Yeah, Chuan Park side only got 3 units.
For Emerald Gardens.
Correct. So 5-bedder is definitely still, attractive in Chuan area lah. So we've come to the end of the analysis series. Like what we mentioned earlier on, that the launch date will be delayed. So if you are interested in anything, let us know. We will keep you updated with the dates. And if you want to know any like floor plans, and things like that, site map, price mapping, just let us know. So yes, and then you have my contact number right over here. Stay tuned to the analysis series, and next one coming up will be Emerald of Katong. So
coming soon.
Coming soon. Thank you and bye.